Transurfer and the Transurfing Curious. My name is Renee Garcia and this is TransurfingTV, and today I'm going to be talking about the burning ritual. This is a ritual to burn your limiting beliefs. This is a big part of my Mo Money course and my Becoming Magnetic course, and it is also a ritual that we do every year. ITI does every year before January 1st. Remember, January 1st is Transurfer's holiday. It is going to really be big this year, I think, just because of how much the community has grown. But we do this ritual burning of limiting beliefs before New Year's and before Transurfer's holiday, so we can kind of get off on the right foot, right, for the year and get ourselves going in a direction of our intentions, maybe a little bit lighter, leaving some of that past belief system behind that has been keeping you held back from your optimal version of reality. Before I get into it, remember to like this video and comment below. My world is taking care of me. To enter my daily giveaway for my reprogramming stickers, Reality 2.0 on Teachable, link below. Join us on Facebook and subscribe to this channel. So the burning ritual, it's really very, very simple, except for when you actually get into it and you start writing down your limiting beliefs. Because what happened for me and what happens for a lot of people is once you call your attention to what your limiting beliefs are, they start to kind of like roll in. You're like, oh my God, and this, and this, and this. So don't fret and don't worry. That is totally normal. Last year, somebody doing the burning ritual, they had one of those big, huge marble islands in their kitchen. And I'm not kidding you, the entire thing was covered in little pieces of paper with the limiting beliefs on there, and it was really spectacular to see somebody that took so much time to actually think about the limiting beliefs in the first place. So this is where the real magic, the magic is for this practice, is it's calling your attention to it. And now if you are interested in doing this with us, now you will start to pinpoint when you have one of those beliefs that are holding you back. Mine really had a lot to do with insecurities about talking on camera. My time, I had a lot of limiting beliefs about time. I had a lot of limiting beliefs about my power to manage all the different projects that I'm doing. And again, as I went into this this ritual, they all just kind of started to surface. And I probably spent, I'm gonna say, 3 or 4 days thinking about them, and anytime I would think of one, I would write it down. And I don't know exactly when this is going to air, but give yourself enough time. And you can do this at any time of the year. So I definitely, after New Year's, I don't want people to feel like they stumble on this video and they can't do it. You can do this anytime. But if you are going to do a burn with us collectively, give yourself a few days, right? Don't try to rush through it super fast. Give yourself a few days. What I like to do is once in a while, as a belief comes up after the New Year's, I simply write it down and I just kind of tuck it away. I probably have about 7 or 8 tucked away, and they're gonna get burned this time around. So how to do the ritual? Again, super easy. You're gonna write out all of your limiting beliefs that you can call to mind on a piece of paper. So each one is gonna have its own piece of paper. So like, I don't feel there's enough time. That's a limiting belief on a piece of paper. I don't feel as though I can manage all my projects with my current skill set. That's a limiting belief that goes on its own piece of paper. And then you're going to collect all of the papers and you're going to plan a sit down with the beliefs in kind of like a meditative sort of process. You're going to actually sit in a meditative position, and what I ask is that you put the limiting beliefs next to you in a pile, and one by one, now I know that some of you this is going to be daunting if you have a lot, but you know, make a day out of it, make a half day out of it, really dive into it, and don't let the time of doing this get in your way, because it will absolutely be worth it. A lot of the stuff that I was challenged with last year at this time, I'm not challenged by right now, and I will get into exactly why I feel this happens with this practice and how powerful it actually is. So you're going to take one belief, right? Time is not my friend, or whatever the belief is. You're going to hold that in your hand with your eyes closed, and you're going to try to retrace where that belief originated from. When you first had that thought, when you first started acting out of that belief, or you first started taking that belief into consideration with your choices, or however you can go back and think of where this belief is rooted, right? And the interesting thing is, when you get back to at least the place that you can easily access of where you believe it's rooted, it's oftentimes a very silly little thing that embedded itself, and then you created a theory out of this belief, and you ran with the ball, right? And as you run with the ball through your reality, that belief snowballs, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until it actually becomes very destructive in nature. And seeing it for what it was originally definitely helps with just kind of like, imagine it's like a weed, and you pinch it off at the ground, and you pull it up by its, you pull it up, and you pull the roots out, right? So it's getting to the root of where that thing started. So once you get to the root, you're going to call to, I'm probably going a little bit out of order here, but I'll try to explain it as I go, the best way of how to just move right through it. So as you recall the root, you're then going to acknowledge that that belief served a purpose for you. Otherwise, you wouldn't have adhered to it, right? So maybe you'll see it, maybe you won't. If you can see it, what purpose that belief held for you. So in my personal circumstances, I believe that some of those beliefs kept me a little bit small, maybe in ways that I wasn't ready to grow just yet, right? So it was kind of like a protection, that I needed certain tools or skills before I could then leave that belief behind and evolve. But it can be anything. It could be really any kind of benefit. And again, if you see it, great. If you don't see it, just acknowledging that it's there. And once you've acknowledged that it's there, either you see it or you don't, you thank the belief, and then you put the belief next to you in another pile, and you move through those beliefs just like that. It might take you a while, so be patient. So retrace each belief, acknowledging it served a purpose, and say goodbye. Repeat for each belief. Then you're going to collect all your beliefs up. Now, maybe you could do the meditation one day and then the burning ritual the next. Or if you're hardcore like I am, I do it all at one time. I mean, I have a little collection that's been, piling up, but the day that I do the meditation, I'm going to do the meditation, and then I'm going to immediately move them over to my fireplace. So you collect them all and you burn, and it's pretty easy. And again, when you throw each one into the fire, or you light each one and burn it, or if you don't have access to doing that, just ripping it up and throwing it in the garbage can is enough. I don't want anybody to catch their place on fire and sue me, please. But however you decide to discard of these pieces of paper, of these beliefs, to do sort of what you were doing when you were acknowledging the purpose they serve, right? Saying goodbye, letting go, really think about your relationship or your history with the beliefs, and then just let it burn, let it burn. So here's the cool thing. My final step here, recall your ritual whenever the belief pops into your mind. For me, I'm a visual person. So for me, whenever I am challenged to tap into that belief, I can recall that specific scenario where I was throwing that into the fire. I can recall that memory. I can recall that visualization. And in doing something in physical reality, right? Burning the beliefs on a piece of paper, seeing them burn, for me, this really helps me to feel as though something actually physically happened that I can recall and say, no, wait, you're not going to come in here. I burned you, right? I burned you, or I said goodbye to you, or something like that. It is kind of like a thought marker to pull my attention back towards, rather than just me sort of acknowledging that I have a limiting belief, but it being sort of floating ambiguously in my mind and maybe losing sight of, you know, all of the stuff that you do in a practice like this. Calling it to mind, meditating on it, thinking about the root of it, saying goodbye, burning it, all that kind of stuff. Whenever I start to go, I don't have enough time, I go, what? Wait a second, and I can actually see in my mind that visual of me doing that practice, and it helps me to call myself out on my own bullshit in that moment of wanting to buy into that limiting belief. So this is extremely powerful for anybody that's a visual person, but even if you aren't, it's still extremely powerful. So I am suggesting everybody do this by January 1st, right? So we can kick off the new year, the Transurfers holiday in a lighter way. And then again, if things pop up during the year, either recall, hey, I burned you, or write it down on a piece of paper. You can either do it then, or you can save it until the next burning ritual. And I believe that this is definitely a way to let go of some stuff before the new year begins. And I know that a lot of people have been very, very challenged this year. So I definitely feel this will be a beneficial practice for your transurfing practice. And join us if you would like to make a video of you doing yours and put it on the Facebook group to inspire others. Right now we're in the quantum boot camp, so we are kind of doing this already. We're in the action of inspiring others by telling people what our quantum boot camp days are filled with, and it's very, very inspirational. So I would definitely, urge those that are so brave to do this and film it. I will definitely do that, so keep an eye out for that video. And good luck with your burning ritual, everybody. Thank you so much for watching my video, and have a good day. Bye, guys.